for the brilliant presentation that actually will make some of the issues I'm talking about even more clearer. Thank you. But there's also something that Billy said and that I would like my presentation to confirm, is that in Estonia, especially in the context of immersion program, language is a shared responsibility. So we share it and we do feel responsible. So the title of my presentation, it may sound very bold, speaking about systematic approach. So I would then like to say what exactly I mean. And for us, system means having a plan, but not only having a plan, but also being able to adjust the plan based on the feedback we receive from our target groups, from our actually implementers of the program, and also it means that we are able to adjust and we are able to make changes. So I will mostly, as much as the time permits, speak about immersion being the state program from the very beginning. I would also like to describe shortly the different models we use, and I would also like to say a few words about how the foundation Innove, with the Language Immersion Center, which I'm proud to represent, is helping to implement and support the Language Immersion Program. So Pili has given a brilliant overview of the policy towards the state language, and what I would just emphasize here is when we talk about employment, when we talk about working in education, and when we talk about being a language immersion teacher, be it in the kindergarten or be it at school, so we require our Estonian medium teachers to be either native speakers of the Estonian language or to have the Estonian language proficiency at the level of C1. So, and thus I will not stop here for longer. So what is very important, well, technology is good when it works. Anyway, so language immersion in Estonia is a state program, and it has always been a state program. So clearly from the start, when it was the Ministry of Education and Research that made the decision that yes, we are launching immersion, everybody knew that this is not a project that starts and ends, or this is not a project that we will just participate a year in and then we will leave. So this clear message was very important for the parents, and this clear message was also important for the educators themselves, because they knew that they will be motivated and supported. What is also important is sustainability of the program. We have the strategy of Language Immersion Program, and this program is renewed every 5 years. We review the program, the strategy, and how we do that. We ask for feedback from all of our target groups. These are university partners, these are parents, these are school teachers, kindergarten teachers, these are principals of schools and kindergartens. And then based on the feedback, we make changes to our strategy, and also, of course, we have to take into consideration any changes that are made to the state policies concerning the Estonian language. Also, what is important, we have 11 in-service training curricula for teachers, and we also review them annually, and we also make changes. We develop study materials that are distributed to our language immersion groups and classrooms for free. Language immersion and CLIL have a clear role, and they are clearly stated in our national curriculum. In our national curriculum for the preschool education, it says that children in Russian medium kindergarten study Estonian either in the form of Estonian medium activities or in language immersion groups. And our national state curriculum for basic school also emphasizes the integration of subjects as well as content and language integrated learning as one of the best teaching practices to be used in the classroom. We are sustainably financed by the Ministry of Education and Research, and this is also important that this program is solely financed by the state. And what is more important for the teachers is that the Ministry, via Foundation Innove, gives 20% in addition to the salary fund of local municipalities, because our kindergartens and school, most of them are municipal institutions. So our language immersion teachers who teach in our programs in the Estonian language get 20% of additional to their salaries, also that's sustainability through financing. If we speak about Russian medium teachers who also work in the immersion programs, I will talk about the models later. They are not motivated financially, but we motivate them differently. For example, we organize study tours where they participate free of charge. And this year is also important in Estonia because it's going to be the 100th anniversary of the Republic of Estonia. And we had an initiative called 100 Teachers to Go to Study Tours. And it's interesting to say that Tbilisi is a very popular destination. Two of our groups of teachers were in Tbilisi. They visited local kindergartens and schools. So those were mostly teachers from Russian-speaking teachers who also work in immersion. And work with parents. Our task is to educate our parents. And we have Association of Parents of Language Immersion. And we also support our parents with organization of annual conferences for parents. So this year the conference was held at the beginning of December and had over 100 participants. Now let me talk about the variety of models we use. And also it's important that our models are also a response to the need of society. So in the end of the 90s, it became very clear that children from Russian-speaking schools could not compete with their Estonian-speaking peers for the places in higher education and also for the places at the labor market. So it was clear that the crucial steps had to be taken, and they were taken with the decision to open total early language immersion. And the first classrooms of total early language immersion were opened in 2000. And then also, the people who were at the time planning and managing the program understood that it was necessary not only to help the children who just started their schooling, but that it's also important to help the children who were already in basic schools. So that's why late language immersion was introduced in schools in 2003. This is the model that starts in Form 6 with the gradual increase of the subjects in the Estonian language, so that children have the necessary competence by the end of Form 9 to continue studying in the upper secondary school level in the Estonian language. You saw the division of 60 and 40 that William mentioned. We started with total early immersion in kindergartens in 2002. This model starts with children at 5 years of age. They have 2 teachers who only speak to them in the Estonian language. And when we talk about the total early immersion, it was a good responsibility for the institutions to find 2 teachers who are either native speakers of Estonian or who speak Estonian at the level of C1. But that was also a great responsibility for the parents, because we tried to make it clear to them that it being in this program, the responsibility for development of the mother tongue and the L1 culture was now their parents' responsibility. And so, as you can understand, not all parents could take the responsibility for that, and the institutions were also lacking teachers with C1 of Estonian language. That's why in order to address these concerns, there was a decision to launch partial language immersion and the first groups were opened in 2008. This model starts with children at 3 years of age. So the target group are Russian speakers or bilingual teachers. So they have 2 teachers working with them, one in Estonian, one in the Russian language, who strictly follow the principle one person, one language. So first half of the day is in one language, the other half in another. And then the teachers do not translate each other, but they're able to work on the same topic with the same content, but in different languages. What is important is that all our language immersion groups operate based on the national curriculum, as well as all our language immersion forms do the same. And then, as there is also a growing need for Russian language proficiency, as Billy also said, we were also concerned with that, and we're also concerned with providing children from Estonian medium kindergartens with the same possibilities for early bilingualism as Russian children have. And then in 2013, there was made a decision to launch 2-way language immersion groups. The first 4 groups were opened in 2015. So here the target group are speakers of Estonian and Russian language together. The same situation, the 2 teachers and 2 halves of the day in different languages. But each of the teachers is at the same time teaching the L1 and teaching the target language, the L2, and supporting development of the mother tongue L1. So just briefly saying about what we do as supporters and planners of the program. We have in-service training curriculum, and meaning the teachers are trained free of charge. We have large events such as summer schools, winter schools aimed at network building, and our teachers are used to learning from each other. We have a national free of charge coaching system, which means that every teacher in whose classroom there is at least one child whose mother tongue is different from the language of instruction. So this teacher has the right for free of charge coaching, which is confidential. It can be group coaching and it can be one-to-one coaching. We also deal with development of study materials. We offer our teachers thematic and lesson plan and samples, guidelines. We have worked out instruments for monitoring development of children's mother tongue and of children's language development in the target language. We also provide our teachers with study materials, and what is important that when we develop study materials, we form working groups consisting of practicing teachers and practicing immersion trainers themselves. And very briefly, if anybody would like more statistics, I'll be happy to provide it later on. The results of our standardized tests and school examinations show that our language immersion students outscore their peers from Russian medium mainstream classrooms, and they outscore them in all examinations, also including Russian as the mother tongue. And my last point was here that the results of our students require a new approach to standardized tests, because at the end of grade 6, children take standardized tests in Estonian as a second language, and the statistics show that while Russian medium mainstream classroom students reach the level of A2 approximately, then children from immersion classrooms are already at the level of B1. So from next year on, we will have a special standardized test for students from immersion classrooms. That was briefly it. I hope I still left the time, not really much, but thank you.
Thank you very much, Anna.